So what did we do? Well, primarily I delivered a lot of training last year, as well as online coaching. I'll focus a little bit on what that looked like. So we kind of went from working in a classroom with real people. I mean, imagine actually working with real people in the actual room and being able to see each other and talk over a coffee. I do miss those days, and I'm hoping for them to come back soon. But with any kind of challenge, we had to look at how to pivot. And part of that was moving to the classroom to Zoom, I suppose, right? Translating our training. The way we learn in person is very different to the way we learn online. We realized that people were needing to allow for regular breaks, much more regular than before, creating smaller groups because psychological safety is really important when you're online. People got Zoom fatigue because we're on so many meetings. I mean, we're on another one today, right? But people getting really difficult responses to this kind of training. We've tried lots of different ways to do that. But how do you translate an online class with interactive Lego games and post-it notes to an online world? And it's quite difficult. And we use tools like this, like Mural and Zoom, to help with those kind of things. But we had to look at how to translate it. Now, consider your world, like what's had to happen in your world to translate the work you do into the new normal, to the online. It's quite difficult, right? One thing we did recognize as well is that we had to set up our spaces, right? We didn't have the kit we had before. All we had was, before we'd have a bag that had Lego in it and post-it notes and Sharpies and what have you. And now we've got to have it all remote. So you've got a laptop and a big boom mic and lighting and a camera. And you have to think about the setting, set up your lighting, make sure your interconnection is solid. Make sure you might need multiple screens to help with multiple different kind of layouts. It's an investment in time, and it took a while to get it right, if I'm honest. But we had to think about how we did that. Learning the tools. A lot of our clients use different tools. Some use Zoom, some use Teams, some use, WebEx, Cisco tools. There's Miro as another tool, very similar to the Mural board we're looking at right now. Jira, of course, if you're looking at actually creating backlogs and you're working through with people to help them and coach their teams, their Scrum teams, you need to understand how to use the remote digital tools. Backlog boards like Trello, and there's a myriad of them. There's so many to look at. But you need to learn all of them, and that takes time. You need to allow for that to happen to be able to deliver a right experience for your clients. However, what did that mean for you? For somebody who's not a trainer or a coach, if you're working as an engineer or you're working as a call center operator or you're working, I don't know, from a QA person to an analyst, what changes, right? You're used to working in an office and a bank of desks with everybody else, but it's difficult to allow that to happen, right? So what other stuff is there? I think we need to be very conscious about the fact that there needs to be an investment from organizations as well as individuals. Investment from organizations to allow for the setup of the technology and the tools needed to do this right, but also of the individual, of the investment of time, of learning that they might need. So we found that you need to set up your space. Of course, find a quiet space if you can. Do you use a microphone and speakers, or do you wear a headset? What's a high quality webcam going to help with? It makes a difference. What's your lighting? Do you have a ring light? Do you have a table light? It can make a big difference to the quality of the call and the quality of the experience for everybody else. You also need a decent internet connection. 10 megabits per second we found is the bare minimum, realistically. And multiple screens can also help as well. And I think it's important that if you need that, that's fine, but this is not a bare minimum. These are things that might work for you. On a kitchen table, it can be quite hard to set up 3 monitors and all the rest of it, but work with the bare minimum of what needs for you. But I think organizations need to recognize that if you're going to enable this to happen, you need to make sure that they can also get involved as well. And here's an important part here, staying engaged. It's really difficult, right? Because when you're actually working with people online, staying engaged, like, do you always have your camera off? Is your microphone always muted? Like, when you're working with people and you're connecting on a meeting, checking in with people and making sure everyone's okay, making sure everyone's connected and everyone's listening and being able to hear. And also that they're present and they're not off on the side looking at their phone or